This show is proudly brought to you by the #Me Network.
Kia ora and welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in to our 24th episode of Access Granted, our weekly tech and media podcast. I'm Raj, my background's in design, media and technology.
And I'm Mike, and my background is information wrangling, connecting people and getting things done. You're here because you're a Kiwi that either works in or has a great passion for tech or media in New Zealand.
Episode 24. Awesome. Later we catch up with Rumi Shivaz from Midas and Faux Media. But first, our focuses for the week, or focuses, whatever, rock and roll. So Mike, my focus for the week, it came to me a bit late last night. To be honest, I didn't spend enough time researching it, but I was wondering if technology distracting us these days. We've got so much going on. We have so many gadgets, you know, shiny things. I know you don't have too many, but everyone has many shiny things. People are meeting on phones. You see people tapping away on their phones during meetings. Every 5 seconds there's an alert for something, even if it's Candy Crush. And I'll still look at it, So I'm wondering, is technology getting in the way of productivity, or even just, being outside on a nice day? I'm wondering about that. So I just thought we'd talk about that.
Sorry, mate, I was checking my emails. What? Sorry, what did you say?
My point exactly. You illustrated my point exactly. Yes, put the phone down, put the shiny thing down, Mike. That's what I'm wondering. Is that a thing that you've noticed as well? 'Cause I've noticed people in meetings, phones. What happened to pen and paper, right? That's all gone. And now it's I'll take my phone into a meeting, or I record it, or Evernote it, or whatever.
I don't know if there's too many distractions, because life is full of distractions. What I think though is the phone, for some reason, has a constant importance value of urgent and must respond to.
Yeah, it's first in line for everything.
Yeah,
it
is. From Candy Crush all the way up to an email from the surgeon, or a phone call from the surgeon. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's they all, because it comes through the phone, get first in line.
And I think everyone's in the fear of missing out scenario comes in, right, a little bit. And so, oh no, have I missed this alert? Have I missed this? Or am I, you gave me a hangout message just before. Oh, have I missed it? Oh, get back to him. How am I going to get back to him? I'm going to use my computer, my laptop, my bloody blah. Well, my phone. And so then it's just too much. It frizzles your mind, you know what I mean? So I thought, well, there's got to be something we can do about that. Then I noticed, I forget, there's a do not disturb function on my phone. And suddenly you're on holiday. Yeah, suddenly you're. No one's tweeting at you, no one's emailing you, no one's doing anything. It's great.
In Android Lollipop 5, the new one 5, I haven't seen it, but they've got something in the notifications which is that you can rank them now and make them important.
Oh,
so
yes. We have the VIP thing for email like that,
So you can...
Okay.
Who's the we?
Sorry, the Apple peoples out there.
You a tribe.
Apple and oranges. Remember that? Yeah. Talked about apple and oranges the other day.
So obviously the two manufacturers of any phone of anybody's worth... I'm sure BlackBerry's got something, and
it's still around.
Nokia is doing
They're still around. They're limping along.
That's right. And they obviously see that there needs to be some more level of, as you say, first in line is a great thing, and it's exactly what it is. The phone goes off, and it's probably because it could be the phone call from the surgeon for your child, or it could be Candy Crush, and you've got no idea. So if I don't pick it up, and it is the surgeon, oh my God, what an idiot I am.
So
you're always going looking.
Yeah.
So they've obviously recognised that, and you've said, was it what did you say, priority or something? No.
The VIP thing.
VIP thing.
Yeah, they got the
So is that a thing you can choose?
It's just an email, though, on our ecosystem at the moment. The only other way I can do it is making different tones for different alerts.
Yes.
But not all apps let you do that.
Yeah.
So then some all sound the same. You're like, oh, what is that? Is that an email or a tweet?
Yeah.
But
Is that
some
the surgeon
things
or not?
can. Yeah. So that's where you're still sort of, I don't know if it's stressed, but you're still worried about certain things, and you're still, jumping on the phone. Oh, what have I missed? Whereas I'd like to go, that was that noise. Hey, that's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
On Android, it's fairly, you can choose, almost everything can be chosen as a notification, whether I do get notified, do I get, does it vibrate, or what sound.
Yeah.
But who could be asked?
I know, there's a lot of stuff.
So it's default.
Right? Yeah.
It's just, look, I'll just use the default.
Especially all the regular guys out there who don't even bother with all that stuff.
No,
they'll just get the same noise every time. They're the ones in meetings I'm noticing. I've got to answer this. Oh, wait. That was just, some tweet about someone eating a bagel or something. It's not important, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're talking about someone's work.
Exactly.
Crack off.
Yeah.
They're distractions. That's what I'm worried about.
So I think, yes, absolutely there is distractions. There are some tools to help. There are obviously the Apple and Google have recognised it and are trying to help. Will it actually help, though?
I don't know, because I think it's a cultural thing.
Turn the fucking phone off.
Yeah, that's the thing. People just don't.
Turn your phone off.
But the fact is, even in movies, they have to tell you to turn the damn phone off.
No, you pay money.
Yeah.
You pay
to be distracted.
A load of money.
Yeah.
To go and sit in a darkened room to watch a movie.
Yeah, and then
you have to be told.
That's right. By the way, turn your stupid phone off.
Yeah, it's like
airplanes are the same. All that kind of thing.
It's like sit and face this way. This is the way the screen is.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
It's like
it's one focus, but still, people. I'm going to check this, check that. I'm writing an email. So wait, nothing is that urgent, right?
We could be sounding like old people.
If you're not in surgery right now,
yes,
nothing else is urgent.
That's right.
Huh? You can always put something off for a couple of minutes or an hour.
FOMO, mate.
FOMO.
It's FOMO all the way.
Yeah, that's what it is, eh? And I'm wondering, is it ever going to stop? And
are we old people?
The day we live in, I guess it's not going to stop. And yes, get off my lawn, Mike. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I might be old now.
What do other people think?
That's what I'd like to know.
So when you saw this getting download, and we're going to tweet this and ask you as well, who's going to come back and tweet us and say, oh yes, I think
bunch
that's
of
too
old
much.
buggers, shut up.
All the old buggers will tell us, and all the young'uns will say, deal with it.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I'll just say, what do you mean?
Cool.
While they watch YouTube, while they're downloading our podcast. And eating a bowl of cereal at the same time, all at the same time.
My boy will listen. He'll have his headphones in to listen to a YouTube Minecraft video whilst on the big TV. So that's on his little phone thing. He's watching whatever else someone else has chosen, and he's texting his mates and he's flicking on his phone to something else.
Okay, yeah.
And I
kind of have to admit that I do that as well.
Old person go. You can't focus on one. And in fact, to be fair, science has proven you cannot focus. No, you can't.
But you're switching faster between.
But you can't focus on one.
Not properly. No. I think you're right. But you still want to do all these things at one go.
It's like, mate. Yeah, then again, to be fair, he'll then go and read a book 3 hours. So
Well, that's good. That's time away from that tech.
Yes. Time away from tech.
Time away from tech.
Screen time.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
Bad screen time.
They say
adults
are
the worst one.
Hour or so before you go to sleep, you shouldn't be on the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that. I read that on the internet.
God, how many people fall asleep to the phone and then the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is pick up the phone and check?
Well, I know people get better sleep apparently because the eyes realise, because there's light shining right in your eyes, they think, the eyes think it's still daylight, right? So it takes a little bit longer to go back into a sleep rhythm. So then if you, say, an hour before not use your screen at all, I'm talking TV, everything.
Yeah.
Then the eyes really adjust a bit better because they realise that in the ambient light it is night time and it's time to go to sleep. You might get a better sleep apparently. So
turn the screens off. This is good parenting.
Yeah.
Turn the screens off before the kids go to bed.
At least an hour
give
or
them
so.
an hour or so without it.
So I noticed with my guys, they do. They want a phone story, they call it. I've got iBooks,
a phone story?
Yeah, so there's storybooks on the phone, right? So I really like to limit this a lot. But, there's a few apps out there, like 8 Interactive in Wellington make story apps, right? Mm-hmm. But before bedtime is not so good because they're amped looking at colourful images. It's almost like they're, on sugar. Yeah. But if you turn that stuff off and read a regular book, it's not so bad. Because it's ambient light, your eyes know that, it's night time, body realises it's night time. It doesn't get that jet lag from a phone,
Alrighty.
Yeah, anyway, what were you going to talk about today?
Are we modelling that? Now, the next time you go to a meeting, do you turn your phone off and put it onto...
No, actually, to be honest, I use Evernote, so I'm on the phone. I put my hand up and I go, I'm completely responsible for the same old...
No one's going to change if you carry on doing what you're doing.
I have pieces of paper, but sometimes I lose those. So I'm using the Evernote to tap away on the phone and then it syncs to the laptop. So for meetings, sometimes useful. But, if you're just having a chat like you and I, I don't need to be on my phone right now.
Yeah.
I just use it to record the whole thing.
That's true.
But you know me. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Distractions. Home and away and modelling.
Yes. So
mine was... this came out of the Hack Miramar event, which was, two weekends ago now. And one of the people there, Marielle, used a graph database, and I'd never heard of this and what they were. It's a graph database, so a relational database, traditional database that's been around for many, many, many years, many decades.
Yeah.
In fact, I grew up on those. That's how what I used to do was databases. And this is a difference, which is, instead of storing it in a traditional way, it is a node relationship database. So if you think about Facebook, there are people and there are relationships between them.
Yeah.
Is married to, is a friend of. Facebook's not very good because it says one relationship. Friend. Friend.
Yeah. Well, you can be an acquaintance.
You are my friend. Twitter's a followers. I can't think of anything else. Google Plus. You can put them in circles.
There's multiples on Google Plus.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's a known relationship, and another classic is CRMs, client relationship.
Client contact, blah, blah. Yeah.
And also on a travel network, and this is where in Miramar it was, there were sensors on the roading network, and there's a relationship between them, which is both a time-spatial relationship, blah, blah. And this is a whole different way of storing and processing information. And the discussion was not about, and they used Neo 4G. So she came in and explained to Aeroflow a wee bit about what the hell that does, and we're sitting there going, and I can hear the brain synapses in me snapping and falling over. And
there's something else to learn.
And she had a great prezzo, Ariel, and one of them was, if you go into traditional organisations, I said, what's that? She said, almost all of them. Everybody.
They want to think.
They go,
they are
relational database. And they're like, yeah. And I said, do Trade Me use them? I mean, they have relationships between people and stuff. And so no, it's all fairly relational. And the question that I was asked was, is there a point in life, or is there a point in experience when you just go, I'm done, I've learnt it now, I'm not going to change? Because I struggled.
Interesting. It depends on the person, I think, because I have noticed that in some individuals. Yeah, you know what, I'm done.
I've learnt my bits.
And I do what I do, and I do that. I don't care about the upgrades or the new stuff, right? And there's others who are just like, I guess I'm one of them, constantly looking at the new cool shit or learning new stuff and adapt it for something else. But yeah, I think after a while, I think you get tired, right? You get sick of trying to keep on top of everything. So I know people that are creatives, in fact, who, I worked for one creative director who stopped at Illustrator, 5-10 years ago. That was all he knew. Mm-hmm. He was an artist, so he drew everything, and then we photoshopped it up for him.
Yeah.
He stopped technology at that point, and he stopped using everything except maybe Illustrator just a little bit to do fonts. He loves his typography and etc. But other than that, he wouldn't learn anything else. So all the cool visual effects and stuff were done by Photoshop specialists, not him. But he'd draw it, so it almost looks like that anyway. So he had that skill. So I think at a point he goes, well, I can draw this. I don't need the computers and the jibber jabber. I'll just get some other clown who knows that. He can do it. I'll just do the creative and the concepting, which is his strength. I noticed in a couple of other agencies, same deal. After a particular point of time, they'll stick with the current computer they're with and the current setup, and that's it. And suddenly, things like the cloud come along, and it's a bit of an issue. It's new. And they say, I don't want it. I'll just save it to my desktop, or that kind of thing. So I've noticed that. It depends on an individual basis. People go, no, I don't want to progress, or not progress, but I'm done learning. And I've known 18-year-olds who do the same thing.
Yeah.
I hated school. I'm not learning any new skills. I remember I employed a girl who was an admin girl who she managed clients as well as did some admin productivity stuff. And she wouldn't go on any courses. And the company were going to pay for free, right? We're going to pay, go on this course. No, I hate school. I hated school. I'm not going to go on any more courses.
Wow.
I don't want to learn anything. So I think it just depends on the individual. And I guess what their space is, what they're up to, and what they want to do. Yeah.
I also think there's a point where you get, I don't know, it's just a challenge, which is at some point when you get old and grey, you move away from actually the technology and the buttons and the way it does it, and you're more into a principles thing. And that's a little bit like you move from shop floor up to management, and it's not. I don't need to know exactly how you do it, but the principles that I've learned through the old technology, well, they'll still apply.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at computers nowadays and I go, they haven't changed. Even we've got we're looking at the iPhone.
It's just another computer.
Massive phone, and it's still here, but it's still a computer. It's just another computer.
Yeah.
And I mean, fundamentally,
new way of using
what's
that computer.
it doing different 20 years ago?
Yeah, you still hit record on those things.
Yeah, that's right.
Same deal.
Stuff goes in, stuff comes out.
Waveform came up.
Yeah.
Same deal.
And
not 20 years, that's 10.
Yeah. But maybe that's that. Maybe that's what it is as well. It's that I don't need to know this technology
Yeah,
anymore.
you could be right there. Certain parts are, yeah.
You just go...
from my point of view, yeah, that creative director, here's more strategy, creative, concept, right? Here's the idea. Here's the big, massive idea. Everyone else execute it using whatever tools you use.
Yeah.
But here's the sketch.
Yeah.
And this is what the client loves.
Yeah.
Off you go, make it happen. So, yeah, that's a good point, actually, yeah. So at a certain point, you don't need to do all the bits and pieces stuff.
But if we're... And the challenge with that is, and this is where I felt myself, because I've grown up with relational databases. That's what I started with. That's what I've always thought I understood. I let programming go quite fairly well. I got into HTML.
One of those
but
things
I let
where
that
you're like,
go.
no, I can't be bothered anymore. Is it just
No, it moved on, and I went,
Yeah.
okay, object-orientated programming came in, and I went, okay, that's me done.
Yeah,
I'm done now. Now I get
but
programming.
you still got the whole idea of it. You know it, yeah.
But I couldn't program to save my life. The HTML and web stuff, I still kept up with that because of just shit I do. But databases has sort of been the foundation for everything.
So you're taking specialists to do that kind of work if you've got something like that going on?
There's a point where, though, if I was of that sort, you could go, okay, this is a challenge now. I'm getting this new database-y, node-based, relationship-based way of storing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get it, therefore it must be bad. I ain't going to let it come in because it's a challenge to me.
Yeah.
And in the industry that changes and moves so fast, and no databases haven't because it's still Oracle and blah, blah, blah. But OLAP came along and I got that. And
I think you just got to be open to the idea of other things, but you don't necessarily have to know the nuts and bolts. But hey, here's another way of doing something.
Yeah.
And just learn how it works, well, not how it works, but why it works,
Yes.
maybe, and then you can articulate that to clients or whatever,
Yeah.
whoever you need to. But the nuts and bolts, you get the guy who knows what they're doing.
But if you're in charge of the DIA IT systems, you might not want it to change. You might find it a little...
That means it's more work, right? More hassle, more
Well, I picked
issues.
that one for that reason, but yeah.
Yeah. Because, for something like that, there's a lot of historical stuff in there too, to deal with, or patch, or Band-Aid. Plenty of Band-Aids out there.
So, I suppose the question out there is, do you feel yourself getting older and challenged as you go? Do you, Raj?
I do.
You do?
It's good. I like challenges, but what I learned a while ago is I don't need to know everything. I need to know enough to be able to articulate, from my point of view, a client or an organisation, hey, this is how something works. I can introduce you to it, do the strategy for it, but we need a web developer, for example, to build it, or we need a database engineer type person to build it. You know? So at least you know enough to go, yes, this is a good idea or not. It's enough. You need to know. Other than that, you don't need to know how to build it. Otherwise, you'll spend all your time doing that stuff as well, and you don't have that many hours in a day.
So I know a CEO that tried to build it all, and that's where he liked to be. Well, there you go. We're done. That was...
So we're done too now. Yeah.
My brain got snapped, but I'm happy about it. I like the challenge. I think it's awesome
the challenge
to
is
learn
cool.
stuff. And
It's how you approach it.
actually, what I really like is when people come with new stuff, and I go, ooh, but I can see the passion in your eyes that you love this and can make a difference. Mate, I want you to do
that's
good
what you need to know.
things.
You need to know that.
You go for it.
This guy can make it happen.
Yeah.
And this is how it might work for you.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Convey that to a client or anyone you're talking to.
Yep.
Then get the guy to do it.
Yeah.
It's their idea or their thing, that's what they do.
Yep.
They're passionate about.
Fantastic. Awesome.
Right.
Gonna buy a beer.
Right, on to events. A chance to get out of that office pod and meet your fellow Kiwis making computers do things. And here's the two events that we thought, well, you probably should go to.
Absolutely.
Well, my one is design, of course. Design and thinking have a meet-up. It's called Let's Meet Up and Chat About Design, or whatever's on your mind. And that's on Thursday, November the 13th, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's one of those small early hour ones.
What?
Yeah. It's at the Empathy office in Cuba Street, level 2.
Oh, the empathy guys.
Yeah. But it's
cool.
what I hope it's a typo, but it probably isn't. That it's 8 in the morning.
There we go.
Hopefully there's a yogurt or some sort of breakfast drink.
It's good old the Tafia. Good old Welsh boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Right, what have I got? Something in January. So this is, we're coming up to Christmas. We're trying to find out the best Christmas events as well to go to. So we're going to start trawling and asking. We want everybody's Christmas events. Tell us, and if you're going to be open to someone knocking on your door and coming in. But this one is the 21st to the 23rd of January. It's called Girls Only Code Camp. So it's in St Cuthbert's College, which is in Market Road in Epsom, and it is a girls only residential code camp. Girls innovate Innov8, number 8, is the hashtag.
Clever.
Go to www.girlsinov8.net to get the information. That is an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. We've all heard about the Gamergate and blah, 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 blah. We talked about last time.
Yeah.
Having a secure is the wrong place, safe place for girls to go and have a practice is a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
When I say girls, I'm just looking at the website to see if it's got between
Particular age group?
particular age groups. I don't see anything, but please check it out. www.girlsinov8.net.
The earlier the better anyway. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like with the boys, right? Earlier the better. Just
Yeah.
get them involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're done with that.
Yep.
That's our two events, but let us know if there's any Christmas things coming up.
That'd be great. Right.
Rumi Shivaz is our
And he
interview.
is
He is
our interview
the
for the week. And
CEO of a company that does sentiment analysis really for companies and very large government departments. And the company's called Infomedia, beg your pardon. It was a fascinating conversation with Rumi. I met Rumi.
Midas Infomedia.
Beg your pardon.
Both got it wrong there.
Infomedia. I met Rumi a while ago when he was doing a whole bunch of innovation work with NZTA and some other clients, and now he's moved on. But this is a fascinating interview about how to gain insights, how to bring in innovation, or the barriers of innovation into large organisations, and a wee discussion around, obviously, the product they have. Hi guys, here we are in studio number 2.
Studio 2 down on Leeds Street.
Golding's Free Dive, of course. They're just getting some barrels coming in, so we apologise for all that. And we're sitting here today with Rumi Shivaz from Midas Infomedia.
Yep.
And the first question that we generally start to ask is, Rumi, what makes you happy?
What makes you happy?
What makes you happy?
Having a good team that we can work with, and having some awesome customers that love our stuff.
Cool. And what's the stuff that you guys do?
Essentially, we help our customers to understand their customer's voice and pick up insights and ideas from their customer perspective, their frustrations about the services this organization provides, and how the organization can collaborate within the organization to find interventions and innovations, new products, services, to improve the service level or business or position.
So, but you're not a consulting firm. You've got a product, haven't you?
Correct.
Yeah.
We have a product. So our product is like e-collaboration, e-reporting / dissemination platform that you can plug in some research data, so they say a formal survey, you can plug in the complaints to it, you can pull social media feedback, and so wherever the customer's voice coming in, we can pull that into one platform. So your staff within the organization has one place that they can access all the customer voice.
And then so it brings it all in,
Yeah.
and then it munches it up. No, I'm getting technical, I know. Prepare. It munches it up and then gives them a dashboard, or it gives them metrics, or is that right?
Correct. So as organization, you'll be having some key indicators that you're watching
Oh, okay. Yeah.
around their service performance, customer sat. Sometimes they call it NPS score. That is you know about
Net promoter
NPS.
score.
Yeah.
The what?
Net promoter score.
promoters.
It's another way to measure if you're happy or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
So and also I think one of the important things that we do is that, let's say you go on in Thailander, for example, and you say the onboard services around Arapura was shit, and then you say why you said shit, because the toilets or the food or coffee or Wi-Fi or whatever it is. So there's thousands and thousands of comments, open-ended, verbatim data that really gives the insight for why you said you were not happy.
Okay.
So our platform makes it easier from a staff point of view. So if I was the terminal manager for Picton for Inter-Islander, I can say what's happening in my terminal performance. And I can see where the people are giving us low scores from a satisfaction point of view and what are the reasons behind that score. So I can call my team and put our system up wall and say, hey guys, we seem to have an issue around the toilets. What can we do about it? So then you can put an intervention in place and see whether those ideas work or not.
Wow. Excellent. So how long has the product been around? Or the company? Or?
Company's been around for 6 years. Started with Air New Zealand as the first customer.
Okay.
So, and still a customer for us. And I've been with the company for about 3 years from a working point of view and 2 years from ownership point of view.
Yeah. So when I fill in my little form, which I never do, on how was your flight, that will eventually end up in
Our system.
the system, and then they'll do. There you go.
You see, I've played with a system called Astute. You know Astute? It does this thing called, apparently it gauges sentiment as well, for like social media tracking or something.
Correct.
Can you do that as well? Can you say,
so
this person's actually really angry, or this person's just taking the piss, that kind of,
Yeah, so we have so what we do is we run on an open innovation model. So we tap into other New Zealand tech companies that are specialized in something. So in this situation, the sentiment analysis is done by an API from another Auckland company called Sentirate.
Called what's right?
Sentirate.
Centigrade.
Sentirate.
Centigrade. Sentiment rate. I get it.
Oh, it works.
Yeah. So we do the sentiment analysis presentation to see whether this comment was positive, neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing stuff.
And how big is the team then?
Team is only 5 people. Yes, small team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you developers or?
So you got probably 3 development and 1 BA, PM, and myself going and selling our stuff.
Yeah. And are you looking to grow? Oh, everyone's looking to grow. What a stupid question. No, you want to get smaller.
How would he grow?
How? Oh, thank you.
Who would you be targeting? What kind of companies would be, this kind of stuff would be beneficial for?
So essentially what we have at the moment, we've got 2 customer segments. Primarily we stayed on our first customer segment, which is at least 250 staff operating in multiple locations, serving thousands of customers a day, and takes customer experience or voice of the customer as a key avenue for service improvement.
Yeah.
And then lastly, there is a senior management exec responsible for making that shit happen. So that's our main. If you look at our customer base, that's Air New Zealand, ACC, NZTA, Conservation, Inter-Islander, all fit into that bracket.
Got you.
So what we're doing now is we're trying to create the second customer segment, same product, but maybe less than 250 staff. So probably one level down, like second-tier government agencies.
Yeah.
That kind of situation.
Yeah. Is it hard? I mean, my experience, we're in Wellington, so government experience, but it's not only that, large organisations, in my experience, not always, but they generally say they want to listen to customers, but really they just want to push their product at you and
want to say that they listen to customers.
Yeah, but they don't really. Is that still an experience? Or, I mean, because your product does what they say they want to do. Is it a hard sell, or is it getting easier?
It's getting easier.
Oh, cool.
It's getting easier because customer experience being highlighted from a requirement point of view. So, for example, ACC, did you talk about customers or not?
I wouldn't talk about particular clients of ACC. That's probably going to get us into trouble.
No. As an organisation.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Okay. So if you look at ACC,
if you think they're going to pick up the phone tomorrow and say, "What the fuck were you talking to?" Then probably don't say it. But if you're comfortable, then we are.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's.
We'll take that bit out.
Take that bit out.
Yeah. Save that bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. We'll just keep going.
Okay,
I'll edit that chunk out.
Yeah.
No problem.
So essentially, I think there's a change from a government point of view. So if you look at from a reporting point of view, right, First level is a lot of organizations will say, as you said, we are doing this thing, but that's just to take a tick to the minister, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at some of our customers are moving beyond that tick level to the next level where you're really trying to understand what the issues the customers are facing and get it to the staff so that the staff can see
They can do something about it.
something about it. So that is starting to happen, which is great.
Awesome.
So I think large organizations are doing good work, but people probably don't see it, but they're starting to do that. Which is great.
It is. It's optimistic.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, there's a lot of frustrated
absolutely.
people out there when it comes to when outages are there. Or, for example, in Islander, I had a friend of mine went on today. He paid for a Wi-Fi session in the business office, or whatever they have on there, to do some work. Right? He's a social media guy, so he needs to be on the internet.
Yeah.
And he did it from his mobile. He said, "Oh shit, I paid for Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi's out today." So that'll probably come through some point.
Well, there you go. Because now you know that they've actually got something that will capture it, as opposed to shaking your fist into
just
the
disappears
universe.
somewhere, right? Yeah.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
That is cool. You should
I'll tell them the feedback's probably already been seen.
I mean, internal actually guys are quite good. They'll come back to him.
Yeah. I reckon it was just one of those things.
Yeah.
It's usually one of those things. But it's so important at the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the product does what the product does. Is it also, and one of probably the first, how did we meet? We met through the
Innovation
stuff that you were doing, that's right.
Yeah.
And one of the key drivers, I'm putting words into your mouth here, but around this is, whilst the product will feed back, the Wi-Fi wasn't working and maybe there was 20 people, it's the doing something
Correct.
about it is...
Exactly.
That's what drives you.
That's what it's driving. So essentially, that's why from our customer, we're looking at people who are going to use this customer voice data and we'll do something about it. Otherwise, it's just an absolute waste of time, as you say. And that's where the excitement comes from our side.
Yeah.
Saying how can that organization utilize that data? One example I can talk about is really sometimes the data sharing between some of the agencies.
Between, sorry?
Some of the couple of agencies.
Oh, yeah.
So if you take from New Zealand point of view, tourism is quite a key component.
Yeah.
And conservation and NZTA are two key players. NZTA builds a road for the tourists or us to travel to a conservation estate or a lookout or a great wall. So both those products, if the NZTA product being the road doesn't perform well, then that has an impact on the conservation business. So we're looking at how can we help organizations to share data in much more creative ways than they have done before.
Fantastic. It's that we're all in it together. Let's try and solve it and make it better for everyone, as opposed to, I've got more data, I'm going to do my department.
That's right. Because
Is that how they talk?
Yeah, and they do, and they're all called Nigel. Now, if there's a Nigel listening,
It's not him.
it's not you, it's the other Nigel I'm talking about. You know the one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, one gives you a bad name, Nigel. Sorry about that. So if that is again the companies or the agencies that go, we'll actually listen to the voice of the customer.
Yes.
It's also therefore then finding those that want to do something about it. Is that getting better? Or?
It is getting better. It is getting better. I mean, government being government is a slow machine.
Yeah.
Everything takes a long time. But they're definitely going in the right direction at least from what we're saying.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And how do you think what's the catalyst to make, what's changed so that it is getting better? Any ideas, is it?
I think if you look at I don't know whether it's state service or whatever it is. There's like a 10 result areas that better public service.
Oh, the
initiative.
result 9, result 10,
Result
all,
time,
all
result
results.
10,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the result areas. So then one of the key things is about how do the government reduce the cost of for citizens to get information,
Yes.
engage with government services, and then there's result 10. Result 9 is about business involvement.
Yeah.
If you're an importer dealing with MAF or biosecurity or whatever it is, just making that whole process easier.
So those are having a positive effect, and it's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Is there any organisations that are surprised by what kind of feedback they're getting? Like usually they're thinking it's a great time, we're having a great time over here, but customers are saying not so much.
All the other way around.
Or the other way around, if they're thinking, oh, well, it's a hard work, but actually our customers are loving us. Have you had that situation before, where they've actually been surprised by the results? And you're smiling, so I assume yes.
You don't have to name names, because
But no
Company
names, yeah.
X.
Yeah. Or this dumb company.
Yes, I mean, if you take conservation, for example, it's actually quite hard for them to get a bad rating for a campsite. Right? People actually quite happy about the level of service they experience on a campground or anything. They're quite grateful.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're on holiday.
yeah.
Mind you, you're on holiday, so everything's good. But when it goes bad, I can imagine. There's probably extremes, isn't there? This is awesome time.
Yeah.
Or
Weather turns into shit. And you're blowing and your
That's all your
toilets in the
fault. That's all
camp.
conservation.
That's right. The toilets are not working,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden.
it's just awful. I hate that place.
Should have gone to a hotel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you help? So your data, the product, is that it, or do you have consultancy services around it? Do you help them manage that? Not manage the feedback,
5
but
people, it must be quite
well,
hard.
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, our value proposition is around the product.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
essentially, we've got a software platform that can pump in customer voice from multiple different sources, and we present it in the most effective way, simplistic way for people to make decisions around that.
And it's up to them to
Then
deal.
to deal with it. Yeah. But what we can do is we can tell one organization, hey, have you thought about that? Looking at what somebody else is doing. So just to help them to increase the value that they're getting from, or we might say, hey, you are using the formal survey input, but how about we start to put the complaints or social media or whatever it is. This is actually a multi-year journey. It just doesn't happen overnight. People will start from one data source, usually starting from a survey.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next logical point is probably pulling the complaints data in. And lastly, the social media stuff. Usually because when social media stuff is already dealt with somebody who is managing this
Social media teams. Yeah.
social media team.
Send.
Yeah, if you say to Telecom, I'm really pissed off about blah, then somebody will jump at it and sort you out.
No, do you know the first thing they'll start telling you now?
Yeah.
You're holding it wrong?
We're not Telecom, we're Spark. And they're on a long,
But if
hard
you're
uphill
angry,
road
you
with a
don't
lot of
care.
us. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
We're going to have to die before that becomes Spark. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, generation. Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
We're just going to have to die.
Just keep it.
And I think they've gone.
I'll pass it down to my kids, I don't care. Remember Telecom, boys? Remember?
Dear.
Every time you ring them up, Telecom.
So there's
What
two things.
was your company again? For that Senti Race. Are they specifically Twitter, or they'll
No,
they
so
can do
they
it?
can do anything.
No,
So
wicked.
basically, it's a small team. They keep a very low profile.
Okay. I've spent enough time for them to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that you must capture voice calls and everything else from call centres, things like that as well?
No, we are not doing voice at the moment.
Jeez.
We can.
Yeah, I've seen systems that do that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Recorded
So,
conversations. That's why they say, hey, this may be recorded.
Yeah.
That's why. They're recording it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge amount of insight sitting there as well.
Yeah.
So that's something that we will do. The thing is, like, as a small team, you need to keep focus on what the customers are asking. Sometimes the customers are 2-3 years behind your thinking.
Yeah.
So while we can do voice stuff, none
Maybe
of
no
our
demand for
customers
it
are
yet, right?
ready for it. None of our customers are ready for it. So, yeah.
Moonshots. Go for it. What was I going to say? Oh, what's the platform? You're,
Yeah, it's
Is it
software as a
cloud?
service. Yeah, it's in the cloud offering.
is it Amazon based or is it?
We used to
do you
be
know?
on Amazon, but we moved down to a local company now.
Oh, okay.
So
Hosted locally.
Yeah. It's a company called ACS Data up in Pitoni.
Oh, okay.
They got the data centers a bit. Yeah.
For government, do you have to be locally? Would you not have any business?
No. Last 6 years we had
Oh, you're
everybody
in Amazon.
hosted Amazon.
Yeah. What was that? Cheaper? Quicker? Faster?
Because it was easier from a starting point of view, but now we're finding because of the user base is growing, having it locally, the latency is low for us. It's from a response time point of view.
Yeah, interesting.
And we just take a couple of seconds off sometimes.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's been much better. And from a cost point of view as well, now Amazon made sense when we started, but now because of the volumes are growing, it's better to have a local product.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's good to get you going.
Yes.
And then unless you go international all of a sudden, like Twitter, then it's not cost effective.
For us,
in our
case.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So have you grown the team, or is it quite a stable team at the moment?
It's a stable team at the moment. I think we'll grow slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my last company, we tried to grow too fast. So I got a lot of battle scars about fast growth.
Yeah.
So I don't want to rush into that.
Fair enough.
Again, in a hurry.
Yeah.
So do you still see yourself as a startup? Is that a phrase that you'd go, that's not us?
In some ways, we are still a startup.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we got a stable customer base now. So really gone through that market validation phase, which is good, and the product consolidation point of view. So it's about getting to the next level. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're sort of a solid base.
Yeah.
And we can stand there and take a breath and nose,
Correct.
but
So
not
we could-
go for the world, but just grow
Steady.
steady.
Steady as she goes.
steady as she goes.
That's pretty cool.
Looking to go international?
Probably at some stage, but I think what we will do is we'll identify similar, for example, if you take NZTA, and if you take Victoria Roads, same business. So we'll probably piggyback on some of our existing local customers to find a similar business in Australia. And that's how we'll probably, the likes of ACC in Australia,
Yeah.
or NZTA, or Conservation, or a City Council, something like that.
There's no ACC in Australia.
The ACC business in Australia is two parts. There's a regulatory policy arm, which is government owned, and then private insurers doing the delivery of that service.
Do they have ACC over there? Do they really?
Same thing.
We
Jesus.
don't get it though if we're over there.
Oh, I never bloody heard about it when I was there. Cheeky buggers.
So WorkSafe or I can't remember the
Oh,
terminology.
yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah. So then you got Allianz and all few insurance companies doing the delivery,
Yeah.
but the policy arm is the state.
Okay.
Whereas in New Zealand, ACC has the policy part and the delivery part.
Yeah. So what's the biggest desire, wish that you have for the company? And do you see yourself as part of the sort of Wellington, New Zealand tech scene?
Yes.
Yeah?
So essentially, I think, we in a way have a small mafia in Wellington from a tech point of view.
Yeah. That's a very good description.
And constantly keeping an eye for opportunities for others. I always ask, saying, okay, tell me when I meet a startup or even a business that's been operating for a while.
Yeah.
I'm saying, okay, give me a good profile of your ideal customer. So when I walk in somewhere and I can say, right, our stuff is probably not used to you, but hey, there's a company that you need to talk to. For example, I was at AMP yesterday, and then I realized they're going through a migration project, quite a large migration project. There's a company called 8Wire.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's 1 year old startup essentially, and for them that would be an awesome prospect. So I just connected the two, and we can take it from
But
there.
you're a big connector, aren't you?
I've been always a bit connected, so which is awesome. Which is good.
So it's through your natural. That's what you do anyway.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't here doing this, you'd be connecting people.
Yeah.
So through that, you're connected back and then obviously into the Wellington, particularly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wider, the wider New Zealand tech, or is it very?
Why did
I'm about to ask you what your views are on Auckland and Christchurch and Dunedin.
I don't
And Hamilton.
know.
And Hamilton.
Haven't done much business with any of those companies really. I mean, Centurate is an Auckland based, so we don't really care where the product or service is, and if it is good and if it's doing something cool and there's opportunity, quite happy to share ideas and do it. I would love to do some business in Christchurch,
Really?
but haven't managed to find another connector in the city.
Well, there you go.
So
We'll talk
Sarah could probably do with a bit of customer set insight. Just saying.
if they care, that's the key thing. See?
Sarah, the Christchurch. The Canterbury Emergency Recovery
Authority.
Ars.
Something like that, yeah.
Authority, probably. but
Authority.
Yes.
Yeah. From what I hear, they could do with it. Anyway.
Cool. Well, how about, where will these people find you in Christchurch? How will they get in touch with you, Rumi?
You can go to midasinfomedia.com
Yep.
and they'll find us.
You don't do the Twitters anymore, do you?
Twitters, Google Plus.
I don't tweet that much. I probably use LinkedIn more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So anyway, I put a request yesterday saying I'm looking for some management consultants that I can help them co-create a new service. So
I know of a management consultant. He's just sitting here at the table, actually.
I'll go look at that.
have a look at the
I'll
post.
go have a look at-
I
I might
basically
be-
said 3 criteria. I said have a look at it and
Fantastic.
respond to
There you go. So LinkedIn is your place of
LinkedIn
choice.
Place of choice at the moment,
And of course,
from a business point of view.
Info Media,
Midas Infomedia.
midasinfomedia.com. Awesome, Rumi. Thank you so much, buddy.
Time today. It's great.
Yes. Now you've not
Yeah,
drunk
you can
any
finish
of
your
your beer.
beer, yeah.
Yeah,
But I've drunk
I'm
all
still
mine.
drinking.
Cheers, Goldings.
Cheers.
Cheers, Rumi.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a
Cheers,
lot.
Raj.
Cheers, Mike. That was a great interview with Rumi there at Studio 2 at Goldings, of course.
Where we are today.
Where we are today, actually, yes. Some cool insights into, insights. It's a fascinating space, old insights, and I wish more people would get their head around it.
Yeah.
Because you can do amazing things. You can learn so much about what people's behaviours are, etc.
Yeah.
It's quite cool stuff.
That's very
so,
cool.
yeah, thanks for Rumi for that.
And a quick call to action. Using the hashtag Access Granted Podcast, we really want people to tell us
That
about
unlocks a massive vault of digital goodness.
digital goodness. It
Yeah.
does. So that's Access Granted Podcast. That's the hashtag to use. All one word, obviously, because that's how hashtags work.
No.
I did see someone try it with spaces.
Really?
I went, I didn't say anything. But anyway, Access Granted Podcast. Let us know about your Christmas do's. And particularly if you're open for hooking up with other Christmas do's around. So this is all about connecting the ICT places of New Zealand. So if you're having a Christmas do, tweet it out using the hashtag, and we'll make sure that other people know. Particularly if you're in the main centres, because you get visitors. So it'd be fantastic to people who happen to be in Auckland and you're having your Christmas do to be able to go, oh look, there's a Christmas do. You can pop along, and that's how serendipity and Kiwis work. So pop it out. Call to action.
Nice. And just one little plug I wanted to just plug was we've actually produced another show, a bonus show.
Sound like you've produced another baby.
Yes, I know. I'm recovering quite well, thank
Excellent.
you. We added a bonus podcast called System Era with Mauricio Freitas. He's from Intergen, of course, in the Geek Zone
Very,
website.
very well known.
He's got
around the
opinions.
traps.
Everyone knows he's got some good opinions. He's really good at articulating the issues of the day, and we got them along. It was a couple of weeks ago to a studio tour at Goldings to talk about call centres, and then I had a few issues with my iOS device, brand new bloody thing, and cut out most of the interviews, so that was great. But we ranted about that as well. So basically it's a little venting podcast that we're going to run for now, monthly, about monthly. And let us know what you think of it. Have a download and see what you think. So this week, Marie's show focused on call centres and the dramas therein with the call centres. Right, now, as you know, as always, don't take our jibber jabber as gospel. All the links to our podcast and bits and pieces are all on our Twitter stream at Access Granted Podcast on a #me.co.nz. There's a little stream in there, plus a little synopsis of our podcast on each post.
And on Twitter, look for me at Miramar Mike, and Raj is at NZRaj, where you'll find our daily #Access Granted podcast updates. If you're desperate to email us, please do on accessgranted at #me.co.nz. And for all the hashtag goodness, Microsoft Lumia updates, news from...
I talked to Finn about that. He had a nice trip over there with the Microsoft crew.
Excellent. Prizes, games, toys, and much more. Go to #me.co.nz.
Thanks for your time, and see you next Tuesday with the Kiwi Tech News that makes the computers do what they do. Ka kite anō, and thanks again to Goldings.
#me.co.nz